Chris never missed a day. He was very strict on himself as a teenager. People would come and call at the house and ask him to come out, and he'd say, no, I gotta lift my weights.
His love, really, from the age of 12 or 13 was wrestling.
The only thing Chris ever wanted to do was become a wrestler.
This is a guy who loved wrestling. His whole life is wrestling.
He was a marvelous kid. Like, I mean, one of those children that every mother prays for.
Never gave me an ounce of problem. Not an ounce. Just wonderful. Always very quiet, soft-spoken. Just an easy-going child.
Extremely quiet, to the point where you even worried about him.
Chris Benoit is an awesome person. You know, he's a wonderful human being. I know in my life, going through my issues, Chris was there for me.
You never ever saw him lose his temper. He had a good sense of humor. He was a lovable guy. He was a friendly guy. He was always a nice, polite kid.
Everybody that Chris ever met, they respected him. And Chris, there was no one in this world that I respected more than you.
Chris Benoit was my hero.
He's probably one of the most honest people I've ever met in my life. One of the most hardest working people I've ever known in my life.
Chris Benoit was the hardest working guy I ever knew in the business. He wasn't going to say, no, I'm not doing that. Chris would go, okay, and let's do this too.
He spent 22 years in the industry and gave his all every time he went out into the ring.
Whatever happened to Chris, you got to remember him or try to remember him for the guy that he was prior to that weekend.